Hi, everyone. Or again, just me. um, I cannot believe that we're about to be in September in a couple of days. Happy Friday. Hope everybody's going to have a great weekend and had a good week. Hopefully, as the last week of August. But I guess I'm just here to do our September budget, which has a couple of little changes in it. August was, I guess it's called a magic month, where I get 3 paychecks. September, back down to 2. So, of course, my husband gets paid twice a month, so his is the same every single month. Which, me getting paid every other week, I just found out it's going to be weird in 2026 because I'll have 27 paychecks instead of 26 paychecks, which means each paycheck is actually going to be a little bit less than what I'm getting right now. So I guess in January and February, we'll just kind of have to figure that out. So my husband gets his 2 paychecks, I get my 2 paychecks. So for September, we're gonna bring home about, these are, you can tell these are rounded. We do actually have like exact cents when we do our budget together, but YouTube does not necessarily need to know down to the exact penny how much money is coming into our bank account. So for this month, rounded slightly, we're bringing home $9,760, which quite frankly is a good amount of money. It's pretty good. So before I forget this time, I'll write it down here on my little cheat corner, I guess. What my income and expenses are, and then the remainder that I have to put towards our student loans right now, and in the future, hopefully towards like our emergency fund. We have not a fully funded one, we have a small one, and it's got some in it. So we have something that we're starting with, but once we decide after we hit the 5% student loans where we'll be, we'll either finish paying off student loans or start throwing everything towards emergency fund, or we've discussed kind of doing a combination, so putting some of our extra towards student loans and some of our extra towards emergency fund, so they're both getting funded. We'll just have to see where we are at that point, right? So it's still up in the air slightly. We're discussing it. So as always, we start with our mortgage, which is $1,442. It went up last month. It goes up every year. It's still annoying. When I first bought this house, it was $1,250, and now it's $1,440. It's just, I guess it is what it is. My income is significantly higher than when I bought this house. So, there's that. Our electric bill, I got tired of it being $170 for a month or two, and then $400 in winter, or so, I cannot remember if it was winter or summer. It was like $400, and then the other one's like $170. I really got tired of that, and because we were doing all this budgeting stuff, I went in and I did level payments. So they look at the last 12 months of your electric bill and they average it out, and that's what you pay every month. Surprisingly, this is actually exactly $250 that we pay. It's not like $251 or $250 and like 47 cents. It is actually just flat $250. So surprisingly, that one's not rounded at all. I combine trash and internet on here just because I have limited space. There we go. Net. Woo, should not talk in the middle of a word. We have a much more detailed sheet that we use. We use a budgeting app so we can both go into it and see where we are and add in our transactions and stuff. But that one it split out. Trash is paid quarterly, so I just kind of combine it with our flat internet bill, which is why if you watch the expense tracking, you won't see trash come out anywhere in August because it's not paid in August. Internet is paid every month. Trash is paid quarterly. So I took our trash bill and divided it by 3, and that's what we put monthly into it. Groceries, we're planning 900. I gave our 9 and 14-year-old, I told them that I'm giving them a challenge, which is plan a week of dinners for $150. Just dinners. I said you don't have to worry about lunches, breakfasts, snacks. I'll handle all that. You get to plan dinners. I'll make the dinners, you plan them, and you do the grocery shopping for all the dinners. Leftovers are fine. Like if you put in a leftover night, that's fine. You have to make sure that we have enough leftovers to have a leftover night. This week, we do not have a leftover night. I think in our fridge right now, we have one singular stuffed pita as leftovers, and that's it. So we're not having leftover night this week. And that's just how it worked. It worked out that the amount of food I made was the perfect amount for how much my family was eating. How that happened, I don't know. But that is just what happened. School lunches is, we're getting back into it. And it says school lunches, but it does also pay for snacks and breakfast if my kids eat breakfast at school. We'll see where this is at. It's easier for my teenager to take lunches almost because can take leftovers. They have microwaves that students can use at the school. The elementary school does not, which really upsets my 9-year-old, but she asked me to check the lunch menu every morning, so she did take lunch today. It's because she does not like the school pizza. She did have breakfast because it was donuts and cereal, but she doesn't like school pizza, which is fair. So we'll see if that needs to be adjusted at some point. Our phone bill, I know somebody's gonna say that's a ridiculous amount for a phone bill. We have 3. Our teenager does have her own phone. We did make her buy her first phone. And then we switched carriers, and then we paid for the second one because her phone that she bought herself wasn't going to be compatible with the new one. It was a whole thing. But that's not really going anywhere. No. We're still planning 300 for the babies this month. I did stock up on formula just this week. But we are starting to buy pants. So we have bought a couple of pairs of pants for the babies, so. Kids is 25, and that's because we did end up using the 50 from last month, but that was for like allowance, really. And so now we have an allowance stash for them. I pull out like $50 in 5s whenever I run out, and that's their allowance. School stuff is still new to us. It does pay for school supplies, but then also field trips, fundraisers. And I do know my teenager has a fundraiser selling flowers. So we'll see. So we might adjust this down if we decide, but this is meant to roll over and accumulate throughout the year to pay for all that. So we'll see how that works. Daycare, I base this off of how many Fridays, it gets paid every Friday. How many Fridays there are. I know this seems like a little bit weird because it's $1,304. There's a small fee every time it gets paid, and so that's where the $4 comes from. It's just $1 fee every time because it gets pulled directly from our bank account. So that's weird. And I don't know. I know how much I've paid, but the software at the daycare is not agreeing with me. It says that we paid more than we have. So I'm talking to the daycare director and trying to get that figured out, because I know that I owe them more and their software saying I don't, and I don't like that. I love the daycare. The teachers are fantastic. So I want to make sure that they get paid. Medical this month is $200. I do have some rollover from last month, because the bills from last month have not come in yet. So what was there from last month, we'll pay those. And so this is just going forward. I know my husband has a doctor's appointment this month, and so it'll just help cover that. I know this says insurance right under medical, but this is car insurance. And we have two different car insurances, because my husband has old antique cars and they get covered under Haggerty, and then our more standard cars have standard insurance. So that is a combination of two different insurances. Maintenance is also car maintenance, but also car tags. And this one we're upping this month to $400 because we know we are going to put new tires on our Subaru by Christmas. So this is 3 months of us trying to save this up to cover new tires for this car, because we travel every Christmas. We drive across the country. There's 6 of us. We flew, when did we fly? We flew in April to Oregon. And that was chaos. It was, and I even splurged for the toddler to have her own chair, even though she could still be a lap baby. And it still was, there's no direct flights out of anywhere near us, which is annoying, but it is what it is. So we drive, so we're gonna make sure that we put new tires on the car before we do that, because we go through a bunch of mountain passes and we're going basically across the entire US. It takes us 2 days in the car. As always, we're putting $100 towards Christmas. I might have to up this, or I might, we have a little extra above our like $5,000 starter emergency fund in our high yield savings account. And I might need to take from that to pay for an Airbnb for a couple of nights, because our family does not fit in a hotel room anymore. And we found, when we went in April, we found a fantastic, it was great. It was a 3-bedroom Airbnb, and it worked out absolutely amazingly for our family. So we're trying to book that again this year. And right now we just need to nail down dates on when we'll actually be there. Streaming is 16. I think that's fine. I'm still seeing if there's one more streaming service that's paying at the end of this month. I forgot to double check and look, but it should be fine, hopefully. And if this needs to be adjusted by $1 or $2, it'll get adjusted. Household, as always, is $150, and that's because that just pays. I stocked up on toilet paper and paper towels, and I just bought cat food, so maybe we won't go through all $150 of it this month. Maybe. Yeah, that's unlikely. I'll probably end up going through all of it. Gas, I always do $300, and then that ends up being, usually we don't spend $300 a month on gas. So that ends up being, if something goes over, if I need more cat food by the end of the month and I've already spent this $150, then like $20 will get pulled from gas and put towards that. Eating out is $250 again this month. We're trying. Well, I'm trying. It's really me. As the main cook in our house, I'm well aware eating out budget is directly correlated to me. If I'm just like, I'm really not cooking right now, that's what ends up happening. Clothes, because we have a good buffer in there. I know that I just said that we're starting to buy a couple of pairs of pants for the babies. There is still over it's like $150 in there. So I'm only supplementing it a little bit this month. And then hopefully we're not really buying much. Coffee is $25, and that's just if we end up getting a treat. Dance is funny because it's technically already spent. So I'm putting $250 here, really hoping nothing else pops up for dance team, because this $250 is covering September dance tuition for the dance studio that I already wrote a check for, that's already been cashed, that's already out of the account. So this is already spent. It's already gone. Home projects, hopefully covering paint for our kitchen this month, is $150. So that's a little bit more just because it is supposed to be covering paint, not just for cabinets, but for walls. Because my husband finished the drywalling and the texturing and the sanding, and so now it's time for paint and to seal the island. We're trying butcher block. But we also have 6 cats, and so trying to make sure that the cats don't jump up there because they like being mischievous like that while that's drying and everything. I think we have a plan, and we're like, one cat is allowed outdoors, so they're gonna be kicked out for like the day. And then the other ones are kind of gonna get split up. Dates is just $50. Why? I don't know, but we need to go on a date. We really, really do. But it's so hard with the 2 babies at home. It really is. Special events is also getting $50. Oh, you know what? My mother-in-law's birthday is in September. Yes. So that'll go towards like a birthday gift for her. And then also just continue to accumulate for all the other events. And other, just as a catch-all, is $150. So the total of all of that, as long as I did my math correctly, comes out to $7,223, which does mean, that our income minus these expenses before our student loan payments leaves us with $2,537 approximately dollars to throw towards student loans. Now we are doing my husband's at this moment. One more of his that will get paid off here in September, and then we'll switch over to my large one. But my typical payment is $420. So that'll get paid this month. His payment now is exciting because like 2 of these loans are gone. Is $260, which is lower than his minimum payments from August, which is awesome. Which means that we will put an extra $1,857 towards his student loans, and that will pay off his 3rd student loan. So 3 of his will be gone, and we will start working on my ginormous one, which is just over $12,000. And as you can see, that will take us a little bit of time with this, especially because there's some things like maintenance that we're upping, working on babies, and medical stuff keeps coming up. And I got 4 kids, myself and my husband. Medical stuff is always coming up. So it is what it is, right? We'll plow through it. We'll get through it. It'll it'll get there. But this will be very exciting to have his top three, the three highest interest rates at, were they 6.55% interest, gone. That'll be fantastic. And then we'll work on my large one, and that hopefully with this will come down quickly, plus possibly bonuses at the beginning of the year, maybe tax returns, because we've had 2 babies in the last 2 years, so our tax returns, we haven't quite nailed it down on deductions and everything yet from our pay, so we'll figure that out. And hopefully that'll, by summer, I think most of the student loans will be gone. Hopefully. We'll see how everything goes. And as long as there's no major things, but we've already paid for braces, we've already paid for tonsils to be removed. Like, we've done some big payments in the last, 2 years of things. And so hopefully it's just smooth sailing for a little bit until this student loans all gets cleaned up. Thank you for being with me on my budgeting rants. I really hope you have a good weekend and a fantastic September. Thank you. Bye.